Hi, and welcome to Gindy's videos. I'm David E. McClendon, Sr. Today is November the 15th, 2015. It's a Sunday. And I'm going to be telling this story at the request of my daughter, Maggie. Maggie has asked that I record these stories so that future generations will have a record, straight from the horse's mouth as it were, about the different family stories that have been passed along and different family stories that I've told throughout the years. Well, this particular story is one that actually took place while the kids were there, since the kids have been born. We lived in a house at 308 Sanford Road in Star, South Carolina, and from time to time I would make popcorn. For making popcorn, we had a large pot that was bent slightly so that the lid didn't fit very well, and a stove with those open coils. You don't see them very much anymore, but the open coils for the electric range, so that you had actually exposed electric heating elements on the top of the stove, and then under them would be a drip pan where any drippings from the pot would go, and you take those out, clean them, or throw them away and get new ones, whichever one, depending upon how tarnish they got. Anyway, because when I made popcorn, a lot of times we would pop oil out onto these open coils, they'd start little fires on the stove, and it would be easy to put out, or it would just burn itself out in just a minute or two. Anyway, one day I was making popcorn and there was a knock at the door, and I said, I wonder who that could be. And my oldest son Jared said, it's probably the fire department. So I went to the door, and there was a gentleman from the Flat Rock Bowen Fire Department with a little pickup truck that was looked like a fire truck, and he was raising money through the sale of portraits. You would go, you'd pay a fee. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't much. You'd pay a fee, and then you'd go on a certain day to the fire department, and you'd have your family sit for a portrait, and out of this you'd get one large portrait and the option of buying different pictures out of the picture packet. Anyway, and so my kids just got a big belly laugh out of this, and the reason this story came to mind is just the other day we heard that the assistant chief, who's formerly the chief of the Flat Rock Bowen Fire Department, just died. He had a heart attack and then had a wreck and died, and this of course is very tragic. He's only a year older than me now, and I'm 53. Anyway, it very well could have been this man, because I don't know. I never knew this gentleman's name, and although I went to school with this gentleman, I am not sure if I ever knew him. His name was Ed McCullough, and like I said, he went to school at the same time I did. He's was friends with a friend of mine, Jimmy Sutherland, who is the chief of the Anderson County Fire Departments. So chances are good that I knew him, but didn't know him by name, which was very common with me, because I've never really paid attention to names that much throughout the years. I would know faces. Of course, if you walk into a school, high school or whatever, you don't normally go up and introduce yourself to everyone you meet. You might know them, you might encounter them in a crowd or group of people, but not know their name. Anyway, the following year, about the time of the portrait fundraiser, I was at home and I fell asleep on the couch, and my youngest daughter, or not my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, Whitney, we call her Lainey, decided that she wanted to play makeup and makeup daddy. And of course I was vaguely aware of what was going on, but not completely aware of what was going on, and she had me all dolled up, the eye makeup, the eyeshadow, the rouge, all this. Did my hair. Of course my hair was much shorter than it is now, but did my hair. And then I went on and fell completely asleep. A little bit later there was a knock at the door, and I got up and answered the door, not thinking anything at all about the fact that I was dressed up, made up like a very pretty girl or a very ugly girl. But I opened up the door, and there was the gentleman. Like, again, I don't know whether it was the same gentleman from the year before, but I'm not sure whether this was Ed McCullough or someone else. Anyway, but here I am, and he looks at me, and he doesn't say anything at all. He doesn't act surprised at all. He just goes on about what he's doing, and I sit down and write him a check. They allowed me to post-date the check to the first of the next month because we were running low on funds that month. Anyway, so I wrote him a post-dated check. And then when we went to go to the fire department to have the portrait made, it may or may not have been that everyone knew what I had looked like when the gentleman got there to do the fundraising, but it felt like all eyes were on me, looking and whispering. And it's just funny, if you can imagine, picture yourself going to answer your door, and you are a very conservative redneck. You go to the door, and there is another local person, country boy. I don't know whether anybody would consider him a redneck or not, but obviously a country boy, because we're all country boys there in Starr, South Carolina, in the Flat Rock area. And going to the door and having someone stand there and see you like this. And I did not realize until after it was all over with. My wife says to me, did you answer the door like that? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like that? Like, yeah. And I looked to see what I was wearing. I thought I was dressed fine. You went to the door like that? Yeah. With your face made up? And that's when it dawned on me, and she showed me myself in the mirror. And so we all got a good laugh out of that, and it was I thought, very, very funny. Anyway, if you like this video, drop me an email at gindysvideos@gmail.com. That's GINDYSVIDEOS@gmail.com. The link will probably appear in our closing credits. Please watch the closing credits from time to time. And see if there are any special messages in there from time to time. I'll slip one in there. Thank you.